In Texas, an arrest has been made in the murder of a young couple after a week-long investigation. Also in Texas, mayhem ensues after a robbery at a gas station. And Mike, we're going to let you do this one. He's not prepared, y'all. He doesn't know his lead story's going to be.
I thought we were waiting for the board to weigh in on my story. I'm still sitting here not knowing what my first story is because of the board phone call I'm waiting for. So if Woody, if you give the blessing, then I will let you know that my first story is a Dallas story where they are doing the unthinkable.
We are.
Did you see that hotel
Texas
that blew
today,
up in Dallas? The hotel blew up and injured like 20 some.
It was Fort Worth, actually.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, that's all.
Yeah.
When I lived there, I considered all of Arlington, Fort Worth.
I've got a kid in TCU, so
y'all let me finish my answer. Please, they don't even know what day they're listening to yet. I haven't got through.
What day is it, Jim? Tell us.
These stories and more are coming at you today, Friday, January 12th, on Real Life Real Crime Daily, and I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino.
What's up?
It is cold.
You think it's cold now? Do you see what's coming next week?
21.
That's 21 here. It's always 2 degrees colder up in Norwood where I'm at.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's going to be in the teens. And that's my father and I, yearly tradition, going around, turning on all the water pipes and everything else I've been doing.
Well, did you see what those Miami Dolphins are in for when they go to Kansas City?
I did not, but to tell you something, you've seen the in-season Hard Knocks that they're doing with them.
Yeah,
I love the Dolphins. For this year, for some reason, I'm ate up with them. No, how cold's it going to be?
0 to 1 degree at game time, minus 10 degrees wind chill. And guess what?
I remember playing ball when it was cold like that. It hurts.
NBC is doing the unthinkable, and that game is only available on the cock.
I saw that.
And at those temperatures, the cock's going to be shrinking.
For you that don't know, that's peacock. But I know commonly in the business it's referred to as the cock.
It is referred to as the cock, and that is the equivalent of a pay-per-view. That comes down to it's an NBC pay-per-view. So if you want to watch that game and you're not already a Peacock subscriber, you're gonna, I don't know what it is, $8, something like that.
It's not much.
Something like that a month. But to watch one game, I mean, because that's where I think this league is going to eventually go toward pay-per-view.
Let me say this, because it just don't.
Are you going to take Miami in that game?
I don't know. It depends on what the spread is. How many? Bro, they got like 20 players that are injured and out. I'm talking about like star defensive players and everything else.
Dude, they play in 80-degree weather.
I get it. And Moster's been out. Waddle's been hurt. Real quick. January 12th, and I'm going to get it wrong, it's 12th or 13th, it just dawned upon me. It's my mama's birthday.
Oh,
happy birthday, Mama. We love you, and thank you. Mama be listening, boys.
That's right.
Is she listens to Bloody Angola?
Overton.
Mama sends me DMs. She listens. She loves dumb. Sure she loves dumb criminals.
Mama loves her. Mama loves her son. I love my mama, too.
That's right.
Speaking of dumb, you guys kept up with where it looks like this thing is with the Alaska Air Boeing thing?
Where the door blew off?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was?
Well, okay, so the NTSB hasn't come out with anything official yet, but there are apparently 4 major bolts that hold that thing in. Mm-hmm. And they don't know if they were loose or perhaps
somebody sabotaged
never installed, like not part of the installation.
Really, the bolts weren't even there.
Like you just built your Star Wars model and you have like half the pieces left on the floor, and you're I don't know.
Or maybe Sammy had a bad night the night before and just forgot to put them in.
I just don't know if it would have. I think maybe one might have been left out or something, but
I don't
know that it would have lasted 30 seconds. It was in flight for 20 minutes before that. You'd have thought it.
Well, no, it wasn't its first flight. It had been through, but it had 3 warnings previously.
Yeah, that
plane while it was over.
Really?
While it was over.
Well, let's hope they had the screws in.
Yeah, right.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, there's so much incompetence in the world right now.
I agree.
I mean, the Secretary of Defense was out of. No one knew what was going on with him for 5 days.
It just disappeared.
We've only got wars going on over the world. Well, apparently he has prostate cancer and went in for a procedure, but no one knew.
Okay, and let me do something real quick. For reasons I won't go into, I want to give a shout out to Sheriff Jeff Travis and the East Feliciana Parish Sheriff's Office and everyone else that I had to deal with this week. True professionals. I love you boys. You've taken the professionalism there to a whole new level, and thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Maybe at the end of the episode, we'll do a little something with these games. Jim's got to let us. I need to win my Jim Harbaugh 20 back.
Oh, I got to give you money. Remind me before late.
I care about
What
are you a little slow on the bet pay?
If you don't remind me, you ain't getting it.
Alligator arms. Okay.
You don't remind me, you ain't getting it. All right, let's get down to some true crime time for Friday. Hey, we love you people.
All right, we're going to Texas right out the gate. And a father and son have been arrested in the shooting deaths of a pregnant teen and her boyfriend. This announced by the San Antonio Police Department.
And that's Bexar County.
Yeah. Savannah Soto, 18, and her boyfriend Matthew Guerrera, 22, were reported missing in late December before they were found in Guerrera's car several days later. The couple disappeared a day before Soto, who was 9 months pregnant, was scheduled to be induced to give birth. Both Soto and Guerrera were found with gunshot wounds. Police say they charged Christopher Presido, 19, with capital murder, and Ramon Presido, that's right, same last name, 53, with the abuse of a corpse for helping Christopher move the bodies after the killings. A key piece of evidence was pointed out by the police department was Savannah Soto's cell phone, whose data the Secret Service helped analyze. Ramon Presido also identified himself on surveillance video as the person getting out of the pickup and knowingly treated the human corpse. San Antonio police said the critical piece of evidence that led them to the suspects was one of the victim's cell phones in the vehicle when they discovered Soto and Guerrero's body. The phone had recently searched the suspect's address on Google Maps, where investigators spotted a Chevrolet pickup that was seen in a surveillance video that police had shared to the public on December 28th. Officers conducted surveillance at a home on Charlie Chan Drive, where they believe the suspect's vehicle was located, and the home was located about 2 blocks away from where the bodies were eventually discovered. When police showed up at Ramon's home, Ramon knew why they were there, and after Ramon and Christopher were interrogated, police had enough information to seek an arrest warrant, so they probably admitted to it. Police released video last week showing what they described as 2 persons of interest. One person was seen driving a dark gray Chevy Silverado, and another was seen driving Guerrera's Kia Optima. San Antonio Police Chief Bill McManus said last week that the video was recorded very close to where the bodies were found and a few days before they were discovered. He said at the time he didn't know if the 2 people in the video had any connection to the victims. He said police didn't believe the person seen driving the Optima was Guerrera or Soto. However, police released the following facts regarding the interrogation of the suspects. Guerrera had gone to Presido's home to sell him marijuana on the night of December 21st. Christopher Presido said that Guerrera pointed a gun at him, and when Presido manipulated the weapon, it resulted in Soto being shot. Moments later, Guerrera once again pointed the gun at Christopher Presido, who told detectives that he manipulated the weapon again, resulting in Guerrera being shot. The medical examiner had previously reported that Guerrera died from a contact gunshot wound to the head.
Okay, so when you said manipulating, I'm thinking that must mean they were fighting.
That's what I gathered from that. Struggle.
The gunshot wound contact
could
kind of tie into that.
Yeah.
That could lean into his theory.
So Christopher Presido is the sole killer in the case, according to the police. And the police say that the father actually helped hide the bodies. Christopher Presidio drove Guerrero's vehicle to an apartment complex down the street where the bodies were discovered 5 days later. Presidio admitted to detectives that he drove the pickup to the apartment complex to meet his son, and actually that is all caught on surveillance footage. And Presidio did identify himself on the video as the person getting out of the pickup and knowingly moving the corpse.
Well, you know what? The dad helping move the corpse. I'm not a lawmaker, but, you know, if someone kills me and they go get their homie to help move my body, I think they should be just as guilty.
Yeah.
They should be principal too.
Well, if you drive somebody to a bank robbery and you're in the car, you're just
principal too. You're just as guilty. So why, if you help hide the body, aren't you just as guilty?
All that over a dope sale?
Dope sale gone wrong.
Yeah.
Now, this is according what I don't know, marijuana, whatever. I don't know. Don't get it.
One bad decision away from spending the rest of your jail.
And Jim Chapman says, he said surveillance video several times, but I bet you it was a Ring doorbell or some shit like that.
Likely.
Like you tell them, you always on camera somewhere.
That's right.
Right? Almost.
Average of 70-something times a day.
That's what you said. I don't know. I wish I'd had that help back in my day. Y'all, you know what? We don't choose these stories. These stories choose us, and the locations are certainly the same thing. A lot of times we're in like Pinellas County or wherever. But today we're in that great Republic of Tejas, and I'm going to take you to Houston. And the shit went down, people, during a robbery at a gas station, right? A Houston gas station. A man dropped a bundle of cash after two suspects shot him in the leg and grabbed his money in an aggravated robbery. The chaos near MLK Boulevard in Houston was captured by, Jim Chapman tell you, a nearby surveillance camera. Police are now searching for the two shooters. The shocking robbery took place on December 11th around 3:30 p.m. when the victim, who has not been identified, stood at a convenience store gas pump. Houston PD's robbery division released the surveillance footage on Monday and is asking for the public's assistance in identifying the suspects. Good luck with that. Moments before the shooting, the victim had sold a vehicle for cash at a gas station parking lot, and this has been established by authorities, y'all. The victim believed he was followed from that location by two suspects. The suspects pulled up behind him while he was pumping gas at a different gas station, and an unknown male suddenly appeared and pointed a handgun at him while demanding his money. The suspect in a black hoodie and matching pants fired a gunshot into the victim's leg, causing the man to fall and drop the pile of cash he'd been holding on to. He dropped it on the ground where it was quickly started getting blown around by the wind, y'all. There was Tejas winds. With the victim lying on the ground in pain, a second suspect emerged and pointed a handgun at him. Double trouble. Second suspect was wearing a light orange shirt and white shorts and had one foot in a red sandal while the left foot was bare. You know what happened? They asked him later on. They said, "You lost a shoe?" He said, "Nope, found one." No, but anyway, that's probably not true. He can be seen hopping around, brandishing his weapon at both the victim and the driver who were seated in the vehicle that the victim was refueling. While the first suspect was grabbing the cash from the ground, the unnamed driver managed to hit the gas and drive away, leaving the victim struggling on the ground with a gunshot wound. The second suspect proceeded to physically assault the wounded man, and then once all the cash had been grabbed, both suspects sped off in a black Audi SUV, probably stolen. According to the police, the first suspect was described as a black male, 18 to 25 years old, 5'8", thin build, and what appeared to be a goatee, wearing a black pullover, black pants, black sandals. The second suspect, described as a black male, 18 to 25, thin build, wearing a light colored pullover, white shorts, and one red sandal.
One red sandal.
Anyway, if you know someone, call Crime Stoppers in Houston. Any arrest, get you a cash payment up to $5,000.
Let me ask you a question, Woody, because that sounds like a pretty smart move. You're staking out a place where people sell cars and get cash, and then you follow them until you think it's a good place to go take them.
I got you better than that. I already thought about this when I was reading the story. Probably what they knew this guy was going to sell the car to him, right? And they were like, he going to get our money. He's going to give us the money for the car. Well, we just follow his ass down the road with our homies and get our money back. See what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, well, that's where I was going to go next, was that unlikely you would stake out a place and wait for someone to come in.
It's
probably an inside job.
In Chin's parking lot, Chin's convenience store, parking store.
Nobody's that lucky.
Yeah, right. So it's definitely a setup.
That dude had money.
So the cops are definitely working that side of this thing.
Right.
Because the news coverage is like, they got nothing to go on, and they're asking the public for their help and stuff.
Well, they named him the 1 red sandal bandit.
Did they? I didn't.
They said it, and they say it 3 times.
Beware.
So 1 red sandal.
One red sandal bandit. 1 red sandal bandit. 1 red sandal bandit.
You can't do that too many times.
Yeah.
Well, let's hope they get the 1.
Hey, if you're going to sell your shit, do it in a police parking lot or something. Yeah. Be safe. We talked about this before.
Yeah, that's right.
OT Haas,
have them deposit the money to your Zelle or
do some shit
PayPal
like that.
or whatever.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you about Gobble. All Gobble meal kits are pre-prepped. That means less work for you and less waste in your kitchen. Their meal kits include everything you need so you can save time at the store or just skip that trip entirely. I got the box in and I had 3 different meals. I had a Kung Pao chicken, crispy fish tacos, and a beef bourguignon, however you say it. But let me tell you about the classic beef bourguignon. Look, it came with beef pot roast and a beef broth concentrate, red wine demi-glace, cremini mushrooms, cipollone onions, mashed potatoes, baby carrots, and rosemary thyme butter. It was so easy to make. Literally like 15 minutes it took Cindy. And let me tell you something. And all the dishes were fire, but this thing was like a taste explosion in my mouth. It's just unreal. We've got to spend more time together and more time doing the things we love because everything came in this one single box right to my door. So see what a difference Gobble will make for your household. Right now, they're offering my listeners a fantastic limited time deal. You get $120 off across 4 boxes plus free shipping and free cookies. And let me tell you, those cookies, I ate one that was sin baked and it was delicious. Go to gobble.com/reallife. That's GOBBLE.com/real-life for $120 off your first 4 boxes. This offer is not available on the home site, so don't miss out. This is genius. It's taste explosions in your mouth like you never had. Hey ladies, are you feeling overwhelmed by hormonal changes? Well, you're definitely not alone. There are more than 1,000 hormone disruptors living in our environment right now. It's in your food, your water, the air you breathe, the clothes you wear, your skincare products. They all mess with your hormones. Then there's the natural hormone changes your body goes through, premenopause, menopause. And while it's a natural process, it doesn't mean you have to suffer through it. The good news is you don't have to suffer through it anymore because now you have Hormone Harmony, a formula made only with herbal ingredients that are shown to reduce hormonal symptoms in women of all ages. Hormone Harmony is not just a hormone support and supplement, it's become a phenomenon. Women can't stop talking about it on social media. A bottle of Hormone Harmony is sold every 24 seconds. And the biggest benefit? Well, my wife says it makes her feel like her own self again. And that's what women mention over and over in the reviews. And there are over 30,000 reviews for Hormone Harmony. And for a limited time, you can get 15% off your entire first order at happymammoth.com. Just use code RLRC at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC for 15% off today. That's happymammoth.com and use code RLRC.
Yep.
Well, we're breaking our Utah record from last week. We're going bang, bang, bang.
I don't know. We did
today.
Utah like 4 times in a row.
I don't know if we
So this is number 3.
Okay, well, I don't know.
But trace, if you're using Rosetta Stone like Woody.
We're going back to Tejas, and I've got
You've been using Rosetta Stone too.
some bad news for Cowboy fans.
Oh, Lord. We know you love the Cowboys.
I like them a lot more than the Eagles. Your late nights at local strip clubs are likely soon coming to an end. What? Strip clubs and escort services, as well as adult video stores in Dallas, will now have to close in the early morning hours, and not everyone is happy. Oh. In an email that was leaked to the Dallas Morning News, the Dallas Police Department said it will begin enforcing an ordinance to shut down sexually oriented businesses between 2 and 6 a.m.
Okay.
The email came from the Dallas Police Chief, Eddie Garcia, who wrote that violators could lose their licenses and face criminal charges. The penalty would be up to a year in prison or a fine of up to $4,000 per incident. Kristen Lohman, who is a spokesperson for the department, said that the Dallas PD was notifying the businesses about enforcement of the ordinance. The Dallas Police Department Special Investigations Division is providing education regarding enforcement of the hours of operation ordinance for sexually oriented businesses. The Dallas PD sent a letter to each of these licensed sexually oriented businesses and visited each licensed business with a copy of the letter.
I got to interrupt you.
Okay.
I understand strip clubs and adult video stores, but you said escort services. Mm-hmm. That's just not legal. How can they send a memo to an escort service?
Right.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess you up.
Well, maybe something's
I know because I lived in Dallas.
Maybe something's happened in Texas law since you were there, but
baby sister's still a judge.
I'm looking at the actual letter from Dallas PD, and that is
says escort services.
Is what it says. One local strip club. Ever been to Bucks Wild?
I wouldn't tell you if I had.
Swim had his own table at Bucks Wild. I think
Swim lived in Farmers Branch. Swim was all over
my
Dallas.
stripper name.
Okay, one local strip club called Bucks Wild is directing its social media followers to email their city council members about their opposition to the ordinance.
Bucks
Wild. I'll get right on that, Bucks. You know,
I'm a protest guy.
I'm going to give you my email, my name to protest.
Between 2 and 6 in the morning, the only people out there are the cops and the people that are really effed up and the bad guys.
Okay. So,
no glory.
I happen to notice. I usually don't start crunching numbers this early, since it's the 10th of the month, the 11th of the month, whatever. But I noticed yesterday that thus far in 2024, our number one listening city for Real Life Real Crime Daily is Dallas.
Now that's
so we're going to have 4 more hours of time for them to be listening to Real Life Real Crime Daily.
That's right. So. Hey, so let me ask you this: when you say Dallas, I lived in Dallas, but it was technically Farmers Branch, just north of Dallas. My baby sister's a judge in Denton, which is just north of Dallas. We had sold out a live show in Arlington when COVID hit, which I consider all that to be Dallas. I mean,
it's Dallas Metro.
Okay, right. So that's what Dallas is huge.
Yes, and most people consider DFW, consider the whole area as kind of Dallas.
All the way out to where the Cowboy Stadium is, Fort Worth and all that.
Exactly. So Dallas listeners, take this as a public service message. You might not want to be using your real name and emailing city council about your desire to see Bucks Wild remain open between 2 and 6 a.m. But apparently the city and a group of local sexually oriented businesses have begun arguing over the ordinance in court. The ordinance applies to strip clubs, escort services, put an asterisk next to that one, adult bookstores, and adult video stores.
And glory holes.
Gary, who is a spokesperson for Paris Adult Bookstore and another sexually oriented business called New Fine Arts.
New Fine Arts.
Who preferred not to give his last name. So he just goes by Gary. But
Busey.
He won't give his last name, but he wants you to write a letter to the city council. Anyway, Gary said he was upset over the enforcement of the ordinance, and New Fine Arts is one of the businesses involved in the lawsuit over the new hours. He said that New Fine Arts has operated 24/7 for the last 40 years and had no issues with police. The city argues that late-night business operations are linked to incidents of violent crime, and I'll just give you a couple of those numbers and let these guys make more fun of me. A task force was created to investigate this, and most of their data was gathered in 2021 and 2022, and they conducted patrols near sexually oriented businesses after midnight. The task force made 123 felony arrests, responded to 134 calls for service, and issued over 1,100 citations. The task force made more than 350 drug and weapons seizures.
To be expected.
The department compared crime stats from different times around these same businesses and found that the numbers for other times of the day were much lower proportionately than 2 a.m. to 6 a.m. So these hours accounted for the majority of aggravated assaults, rapes, robberies, and murders during that 21-22 period, and a majority of the 911 calls and calls to the fire department also happened during these hours. So those people traveling to Dallas for business that end up in those places till 4 a.m, you're going to have to figure out somewhere else to go. And this will probably save some lives and keep some people out of jail.
I would tend to agree with that because I know who's out in those hours. But let me tell you a couple things about Dallas. I lived there. I got kicked out of got kicked out of 3 different restaurants in one day. I told you all of that before. Secondly, I was really, really offended on my first Sunday there, and I went to Walmart to get all the makings for a Bloody Mary. Man, they had all the makings except for the vodka. They didn't even sell hard liquor in the Walmarts. And then I was like, well, let me get a 12-pack of beer. They don't sell beer. They don't sell alcohol, period, on Sundays.
Until afternoon, isn't it?
Well, you can get it in a restaurant, but you can't get it, period. But noon's a little too late anyway.
But this is a certain part of...
No, it's Dallas. Dallas.
You can get beer in Dallas?
Not on Sundays.
Not on Sundays. Okay.
There are
a
lot of
an
churches in Dallas.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm free and 21 and solid American grown-ass man. If I want to drink a beer Sunday or Monday or Tuesday or whenever day, I should be able to do that.
Buy it on Saturday.
I know, but that takes too much foreplay. Well, I bought it on Saturday, but I drank it all.
There's the problem. Therein lies the issue.
Well, people, you're going to need to find a way to get all your trouble in before 2 a.m., which you should be able to do.
All right, we're going to get out of Texas and we're going to go to Virginia. And authorities in Virginia have identified a deceased fisherman as the prime suspect in the deaths of 3 people who were killed during what has become known as the Colonial Parkway murders of the 1980s. Yeah. Alan Wilmer Sr. died on December 17th of 2017 at his residence in Lancaster County, Virginia, and DNA was obtained for his body for identification purposes following that death, and it actually linked him to the September 1987 fatal shootings of David Knobling, who was 20, Robin Edwards, who was 14, and the July 1989 strangulation death of Teresa Spall Howell, who was 29. This was just found out this week. As a result of the forensic findings, if Alan Williams Sr. was alive today, he'd be charged with all 3 of these homicides, police said during a Monday press conference. The Colonial Parkway murders were a series of double homicides that occurred in southeast Virginia in the late 1980s that have yet to be solved. Among those considered victims are Knobling and Edwards, who were last seen together on September 19th of 87. State police said they were found shot to death 4 days later along the shoreline of the James River. Though not necessarily considered a victim of the Colonial Parkway murders, Howell died amid the killing spree. Police said she was last seen at 2:30 a.m. in 1989 outside a closed nightclub. At about 10 a.m. later that day, her clothing was found by a construction crew and her body was found shortly after in a wood line. Police said she was sexually assaulted and died as a result of strangulation. Wilmer had no criminal record at the time of his death.
Mike, yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of.
And then he couldn't be dead or guilty of anything,
right? And was not a suspect in the cases. However, police are asking for the public come forward with information about the deceased fisherman as they investigate him for potential other crimes, including other homicides. Mm-hmm. We recognize that this announcement has been coming for a long time, the police said during a press conference, and while we do hope this provides a sense of closure to the families, we recognize there's still other families related to the Colonial Parkway victims still hoping for answers. So there you go. There's a guy that killed 3 people and made it his whole life without getting caught, and they didn't find out until he was deceased.
That
he was a serial killer.
Even though he's dead.
Yeah.
And there is no such thing as closure on all these cases that I've done for these families. There's no closure, but it does bring them some sense of relief. Love to see justice getting served, even if they can just shit upon his grave,
right?
His name. So
that's what they should do. Something like that. Something nasty to his grave.
Never even on their radar.
Yeah,
the police said in the press conference.
He didn't have a criminal history. It's fucking with that guy.
Well, and it just shows that there's serial killers walking among us.
It is hard to catch a smart criminal. Period. Prisons are full of dummies, and occasionally a few that I put there. All right. Very good story. Love to see justice getting done. Now, gentlemen, I'm about to take you on a cruise. The Love Boat. The literal Love Boat, right? Yeah, we talked about this, right? We talked about Steuben and all of them in the past, and how Isaac was my favorite, the bartender, right? He was big pimping. But I'm going to take it to the seas. That's right, with the big smile, right, and the mustache. Let's take it to the seas and learn about a cruise ship bartender that was interested in more than just making cocktails. No pun intended. But before we do some quickie Love Boat trivia, the actor that played Captain Steuben was also a lead character in another very successful 1970s sitcom. What was the name of the show?
Say it again.
But Captain Steuben
was
kind of the
actor. Was in another.
He was in another sitcom in the 70s.
Yeah, but oh man, what was it? I don't remember. I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember the name.
Actress who had been on the Dick Van Dyke Show for years.
Yeah, I can see him.
I can't remember it either.
Do you remember?
Oh yeah, of course I remember.
I actually see it, but I can't remember. I don't do names. Y'all know that.
One Day at a Time?
Dallas. Back for your Tejas fans.
I don't remember.
The Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah. Who shot JR? All right. So anybody back? Let's go back. Let's go back with my story. So there's this lady from West Virginia, y'all, and she's suing a cruise operator for more than $75,000 in damages after claiming one of their bartenders raped and impregnated her, right? In the complaint, the victim, who's only identified as Jane Doe, is suing the Alaska cruise operator following a May 2023 incident involving a cruise bartender named Hoobesh Dookie. Now, I'm going to spell it for you. Hoobesh, and then Dookie, Dookhy. Right? Fair enough? Dookie. All right, so Dookie was also previously accused of sexual contact with her cabin mate, who is identified in the court filings as HB. Dookie pled guilty in October to abusive sexual contact after HB's accusations resulted in charges being filed. Dookie is currently locked up in the Federal Detention Center in Miami, but he is not facing criminal charges in connection with Jane Doe claims, at least not yet. In December, the civil complaint filed by Jane Doe, the allegations against Dookie mirrored the accusations made in May from the complaint from HB. But Jane Doe alleges that on May 5th, aboard the Margaritaville I didn't know that was a cruise show, at Sea Cruise, she and HB were drinking at a bar and opted to charge their drinks back to the cabin. That's common. Yeah, that's I do when I go on cruises. But In doing so, the bar staff now had their name and cabin number, as well as the ability to make a duplicate room key, according to the complaint. That could be an issue. Dookie was the bartender who served them both that night. Well, later that evening, they went to bed and they went to sleep, and Dookie entered. That's when Jane Doe alleges that he raped and impregnated her. As part of the made criminal complaint made by HB, it had already been alleged that Jane Doe confronted Dookie when she awoke to him touching her inside her cabin. She tried to get him to leave the room, but Dookie instead walked over to her friend's bed and began caressing her chest. Jane Doe informed the FBI that she grabbed her phone and recorded Dookie's assault of HB on a camera. Back to your surveillance stuff, Jim. Dookie initially denied allegations, claiming his interaction with HB was consensual. After HB reported the incident to the cruise ship staff the next day, security searched Dookie's living quarters and found a key to the women's cabin. And the plot thickens. Well, in the December complaint, Jane Doe said she was forced to abort the pregnancy, which led to serious complications, that she suffered physical and mental trauma, as well as humiliation and the activation of pre-existing conditions comprising her ability to lead a normal life. She's suing the Classic Cruise operator for damages, claiming that the operators failed to protect her from harm caused by one of the ship's crew members. Margaret Reedaville at Sea said in a statement that although they immediately cooperated with investigators following the accusations, they were not aware of the alleged assault on Jane Doe until this lawsuit was filed. They said the safety and well-being of our guests and crew members is our top priority, and all allegations of crime are taken very seriously. Companies said, adding that crew member was Dookie, y'all, was immediately terminated following the incident. So the I don't know. A lot of issues. A lot of issues
there with, you got one person's word against another's. Yeah. There wasn't a rape kit done the next day or anything like that.
Well, let's talk about
that. She may be totally telling the truth.
Talk about that for a second. That we are certainly not victim blaming or shaming or anything else. No, I had so many women that would come in months or even years later and report it, and some of them were proven to be false, so they were doing it for whatever reason, but a lot of them are true. And it doesn't mean that not everybody, like the people in Walmart, are not going to tackle somebody and fight them. We talked about that story with Roll or whoever touched the kid, but the people respond in different ways. But it's certainly suspect that this lady saying, I had an abortion, there's no proof of it, blah, blah, blah. But Dookie had the key. And Dookie,
but Dookie admitted to it being consensual.
Well, here's the deal. Let's go back to it. It's not the Miami police investigating this, the FBI, first of all. And there was the video of at least her friend, got woke up, and then she said, went over there, started messing with the other one, and she took a video of it.
Which is a little bit suspect to begin with, because if there's, I don't know, to me, I mean,
he got convicted.
This is a cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
So,
that's got to be one of the small party ones out of Miami to like a one-day cruise. Yeah.
Right, but you're dealing with a small cabin, right? There's barely enough room for the two beds that are in the cabin. So it's not like he's walking away 30 feet away.
Yeah.
So she's filming. He's right there. He's moved to the other one. The other one files criminal charges.
Right, and gets it.
Yeah. But she doesn't file. Yeah. Why would she not file criminal charges when the other one filed? And the cruise line says they had no awareness of any issues involving her until this. That's a part
in her defense. They have had many that didn't report later on, and to be suspect, it's kind of fishy. Maybe look for a check. Why are you only suing for $75,000 if all that happened? But you know what, Dookie's ass going to prison.
Yeah,
should have done it. I'll tell you what. It'd be a melee up in that motherfucking cabin. I'll wake up and somebody's doing something next to me.
But how often do you think Isaac was actually getting people on those cruise ships to give him a room key and ask him to?
You didn't know? Isaac was sponsored by Trojan Condoms.
Okay, well, he should have been. But all of the episodes featured either Doc or Julie or everybody else got I don't remember an episode with, Isaac hooking up big time. Maybe he did, but
Isaac,
I think there was a couple episodes.
Isaac was slicker than
remembered a couple where
you know what?
But I'm thinking the bartenders
so the listeners know
getting...
you're not supposed. They're not supposed to fraternize.
That's right.
Other than give the service, they're not supposed to get that kind of personal service.
No,
it's against the rules. There's a rule. Reason there's rules.
No anchovies.
And we weren't in Texas at the time.
Nope.
Well, we weren't anywhere.
True.
We were at sea.
International water.
International waters, right?
So as much Texas as anything else. Okay.
They were drinking margaritas, probably.
Let's go to Cali.
Cali.
But we're not going to,
I don't think so.
Don't think beach and
Mojave Desert.
Glamour and Hollywood and all that. Think dust and Bakersfield.
Yeah,
and
like a refiner's town.
And agricultural. Yes, this is Kern County, which is Bakersfield.
That's not in the Golden Triangle where the good weed comes from.
No, it's not. The mystery of a woman whose headless body was drained completely of blood and dumped in a California vineyard nearly 13 years ago has finally been solved. Kern County sheriffs named 64-year-old Ada Beth Kaplan as the naked, abused, and partially decomposed corpse that was discovered on March of 2011 in the city of Arvin. Kaplan was completely unrecognizable. Besides decapitating the woman and draining her blood, the killer had even taken the time to chop off her thumbs before leaving her body on a vineyard's dirt roadside. This person took their time to pull into this dirt access road, remove the body, place it on the ground, and pose it in what I would consider a sexual manner, and wanted the body found like that, said Homicide Sergeant David Hunt.
Yep,
a lot of serial killers.
Too many of those.
The DNA the police were able to scrap up proved useless. There were no hits in any missing persons, crime scene, or convicted persons indexes.
I don't think they should say scrap up. It's kind of offensive to the family.
Apologies to the family.
Not you. They said it, not you.
They did. The case went cold for 9 years until the ME's office reached out to the DNA Doe Project, a nonprofit that specializes in identifying John and Jane Does using investigative genetic genealogy. This time, Kaplan's DNA turned up multiple hits and connected investigators to multiple distant cousins spanning 8 generations.
There you go.
Researchers connected their Jane Doe to a rich Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry and combed through hordes of Eastern European records to build a family tree. Ashkenazi Jews descended from the medieval Jewish communities in the Rhineland in France and Western Germany. Many Ashkenazi Jews migrated to Eastern Europe, Poland, Lithuania, Russia, etc., following the Crusades in the 11th to 13th centuries. A little bit of Jewish history there for you. After comparing her DNA to 2 potential family members who resided on the East Coast, the team finally had a match. The team worked long and hard for this ID, said Missy Koski, the volunteer group's team leader. Ashkenazi Jewish ancestry is often complicated to unravel. When we brought in an expert in Jewish records and genealogy, that made a huge difference. Interviews with Kaplan's family revealed why she had been so difficult to identify. No one had ever filed a missing persons report. The disturbing events leading to her death and the person who killed her, however, remain a mystery. Kaplan lived nearly 80 miles north of where her body was found, though police do not believe she was murdered at the vineyard. The deranged murderer, or murderers appeared pretty comfortable committing this crime, leaving officers baffled and uneasy that they could still be on the loose today. I've never seen anything like this in my life, the sheriff said about the crime scene. I've seen some pretty gruesome crime scenes, and this was the creepiest of all time. So they finally figure out who this person is after all these years, but they're no closer to finding out.
Yeah, probably because they had to do with the new genealogy stuff. Nowadays, if you get arrested for a felony in most states, they automatically swab you and put you in CODIS. So evidently, I mean, this has been a long time ago too, before this was prevalent. So probably whoever did it is either dead or in prison. They don't have them in the database yet.
Right.
This doesn't seem like the kind of crime you commit once. I mean, it seems like a serial kind of
probably
thing.
so, but I mean, you got, what was the name of the guy who had
the posing would lead me to believe that.
The posing is definite. I've had a couple of those. They're horrible cases. I mean, that's either degrading thing or for shock value and stuff like that. But there's probably other ones that are tied to this victim that if I'm going to do it, I'm going to drop you in a whole bunch of different places like Bakersfield and Clinton, Louisiana. I'm going to spread them all out. Right? Not that I ever dropped you in Clinton, Louisiana. I'm just giving it as a point. But hey,
Ashkenazi.
Do you think that's where Oshkosh Bagosh came from?
No, that's from Wisconsin. Oshkosh, Wisconsin. But
I never heard of Oshkosh.
Did you ever wear that when you were a kid, Oshkosh?
I don't know if I did or not. I had to wear Tuskins. I was a little fat boy.
Chubbies.
I couldn't
those
wear
are
regular
adjustable,
pants.
right? They could just...
No, I don't think that I had any bibs.
Did you have Garanimals? Remember Garanimals?
No, I don't think my parents ever... No, I was jealous. One of my friends had on Superman.
Oh, yeah.
Underoos. Superoos.
Underoos.
Yeah. But they had
tons of
superheroes on them.
I had Batman.
Yeah, that's
Speed Racer.
I didn't have
my
any
go-to
of those.
pair.
Yeah.
I think I had like Hanes or something.
I think this is a place where crimes get this person was never even reported missing. This
could have been a
cold case probably got
victim.
no attention
Absolutely.
over time. This is, I don't know. Seems like something that might be solvable by somebody today because it's a very unique MO.
If it was a criminal from today and then they were swabbing and put him in CODIS, it definitely could be solved. I wish I'd had that shit in my day. All right, Jim.
No doubt about it.
Ooh.
All right. Mile High Friday, and sometimes you come across those mile high crimes.
I almost sent you one last night.
You just can't wait to report on.
Yeah.
Well, I actually had two people send me the exact same thing. So I want to shout them out. Miss Danielle Martinez and Miss Lori Johnson both sent me
Johnson,
this.
best banker chick in the world.
Best banker chick in the world. And I was unaware that the TSA did this, but every year they release.
That's what I was going to send you last night.
There you go. Well, shout out to Woody Everton who thought about sending me this story.
Yeah.
But the TSA releases their top catches of 2023
crazy.
or 2022, whatever year it is.
Crazy.
And they just released their top catches for 2023. So the interesting thing about that is the New Orleans airport was actually on the list 4 separate times out of the top 10.
Did you know what TSA stands for?
Like for real, or are you gonna make something up?
No, for real.
No.
So I had to think about it myself. I think it's
something administration,
Security Administration. Yeah.
What is it?
I think it's Transportation Security Administration. Yeah. People just take that for granted. I wanted to know.
They have when you go through at New Orleans Airport. They have the pictures of all the guns they've confiscated during the year. And I mean, it's unbelievable how many guns they have.
Jim's we're going to get into it.
Bless them with the knowledge on college.
There you go. So we're going to get into that article, and it says a bag of meth found inside Crawfish boil was among
what? Wow, that's good. That's a good one.
One of TSA's top catches of 2023. It was a Zatarain's Pro Bowl season. I'm very familiar with.
In Louisiana.
TSA officers undoubtedly encounter all kinds of interesting and strange items in travelers' luggage. This year's list included explosives, marijuana hidden in a diaper, a lot of knives, including one that was stuffed into a loaf of keto bread.
Okay, that's trying to hide. But when they took the knife off swim,
that's right.
Just because he forgot.
That's it. Another that was discreetly tucked away in a prosthetic leg.
What?
New Orleans was the only city to make the list twice this year. I said 4 times. Actually, it was twice, ranking as high as number 4 is a large firearm with 163 rounds of ammo that TSA officials confiscated from passengers' luggage at the Louis Armstrong International Airport. But nothing on the list quite screams New Orleans like meth inside the Crawfish Bowl seasoning, which took actually 7th place on the list. But we're going to go through that top 10. And we'll start from 10 and go to 1. Number 10 was a set of throwing knives.
Nice.
Throwing knives, super sharp, in a carry-on bag. That was at Boston Logan Airport.
He's in the circus, probably.
Yeah.
Circus.
I'd have been a ninja.
How about replica rockets into checked luggage? Replica rockets. They probably thought they were real rockets. Minneapolis St. Paul International Airport. Number 8, knife stuffed into a loaf of keto bread. That was in Seattle. Nice. Number 7 was that crawfish boil seasoning in the New Orleans International Airport where they found meth inside.
Genius.
Number 6, 35 millimeter projectile bomb.
What?
At the Charlotte Douglas International Airport.
That's a fucking mortar round.
Well, there you go.
They got a more in Charlotte.
And the scary thing is that's number 6.
That's crazy.
That should be number 1. Number 5, knife hidden inside a prosthetic leg in the Anchorage Airport. Someone in Alaska. Number 4, firearm and 163 rounds of ammo, New Orleans International Airport. Number 3, IED in a CO2 cartridge.
What?
That was in the Sacramento airport. That's right.
God, they stopped that one.
Where was that guy headed?
I mean, that dude had bad intentions, right?
Yeah, there's no doubt. Number 2, marijuana in a diaper.
Interesting.
LaGuardia.
I don't know. I got meth in a crawfish boil.
Oh, I got that over a diaper.
Trumping pot in a diaper. This is a bad ranking.
And number 1 on that list, inert IED hidden in an energy drink can in the Tulsa International Airport.
If you're carrying an IED, I imagine you're probably on a terrorist watch list already.
Yeah,
some of those are kind of funny, like not funny, but the knife in the prosthetic leg and the meth in the crawfish bowl. But IEDs, obviously the dude was carrying a mortar around, but maybe that was off a military base in North Carolina or whatever. But the IEDs. And you're hiding them?
Yeah.
They're going to blow that plane
up to no good.
But I would think the best work by officers there is finding the meth in the crawfish boil and finding the knife in the prosthetic.
Hey, you know what? I almost got arrested one time, and I won't say it was swim. When I was doing all my traveling, I checked my firearm. I left a magazine. Most people call them clips, but they're actually magazines. Loaded. I left them, my spares loaded in my damn carry-on.
Yeah.
And they hit me up.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a retired cop, an accident, keep the shit.
Well, I would have loved to seen you on that list. And number 1, Woody Overton. M16 with 6,000 rounds.
That might have been
well, that is your Mile High Crime.
That was a good
Friday.
one, Jim Chapman.
Yeah, very interesting. Thank you to those ladies for sending that.
Thank y'all for doing that.
Spark something uncommon this holiday with just the right gift from Uncommon Goods. The busy holiday season is here, and Uncommon Goods makes it less stressful with incredible hand-picked gifts for everyone on your list, all in one spot. Gifts that spark joy, wonder, delight, and that's exactly what I wanted feeling. Hey, y'all, I ordered a super cool piece. It's a candle with a sculpture of an LSU Tiger Stadium on top of it. And each officially licensed laser cut wooden replica features up to 4 layers of detail, creating a bird's eye view of a specific football field, seating section, and more. And every label includes your stadium's name, the team's logo, and school location. And it has a coconut, soy, vegan wax infused with sandalwood smell that creates tailgates and touchdowns scent profile, reminiscent of game day. It's invigorating like fresh cut grass and nostalgic like smoke from a pre-game grill. And calming like the crisp autumn air of a new semester on campus. Y'all, I love it. I have it at the base of my TV, and I'm ready to watch the Tigers play on Saturday night, right? Uncommon Goods. Look, when you shop at Uncommon Goods, you're supporting artists and small independent businesses. And many of their handcrafted products are made in small batches. So shop now before they sell out this holiday season. Uncommon Goods looks for products that are high quality, unique, and often handmade or made in the U.S. They have the most meaningful out of the ordinary gifts anywhere. They even have gifts you can personalize. From holiday host and hostess gift to the coolest finds for kids to hits for everyone from the book lovers to diehard sports fans. Uncommon Goods has something for everyone, not the same old selections you can just find anywhere. And with every purchase you make at Uncommon Goods, they give $1 to a nonprofit partner of your choice. They've donated more than $3 million to date. So to get 15% off your next gift, go to uncommongoods.com/RLRC. That's uncommongoods.com/RLRC for 15% off. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Uncommon Goods, we're all out of the ordinary.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Fridays are always the best kinky crimes.
Y'all gonna laugh at this one. Y'all, we do the kinky crime stuff. It's not to be dirty. Some of them are more serious than the other ones, and some of them are just funny. I mean, this is an adult show.
That's right. But we don't get.
But normally I don't read the title, but I'm gonna read the title of this one. All right, chick. That's some. I would say I'm gonna say it. I don't mean any disrespect, but chick offers to eat a cop's ass to get out of her arrest. Now, normally I wouldn't read. I put you in suspense.
You do what you got to do, I guess, in her case.
I mean, I've been offered everything in the world to get out of arrest, but not to eat my ass. But a Louisiana woman.
Might consider it in that case?
No. That might have been the deal breaker. A Louisiana woman is facing a public bribery charge after making an indecent proposal to a cop who arrested her for pummeling her live-in boyfriend.
She beat up her boyfriend first. Okay.
Diane Thomas, 52, was busted earlier this month for punching her beau in the face multiple times and scratching him with her fingernails during a confrontation in the couple's Monroe home. Shout out to our listeners in North Louisiana. When Thomas was read her Miranda rights by a Monroe Police Department officer, she stated that her boyfriend was a bitch and adding that he got in her face as she beat his ass. This is from the police report. After Thomas was handcuffed, she told Corporal Chris Ballard that she could not go to jail since she has a good job. Well, at that point, Thomas made Ballard an offer he would refuse. If you won't take me to jail, I will get on my knees right now. Officer, I will even lick your butthole. This is a police report.
Hey now.
Already faced misdemeanor and domestic abuse charges, Thomas was then hit with a felony public bribery count for allegedly offering to lick Corporal Ballard's butthole. Picture above. No, just teasing. Thomas was freed on a $5,000 bond. Look, y'all, this is from the actual probable cause affidavit. She literally said, I will lick your butthole.
And we are going to post that probable cause affidavit on Facebook.
Yes. We have a photograph, and I'm showing to my two homies.
We're going to post it.
We're going to post
looks like
it.
a sweet lady. I can't
right?
She probably is a sweet lady.
Hey, she beat her boyfriend up because he was a
lady
bitch.
with bad breath.
Yeah.
She was, right? He's a bitch, but I'll lick your butthole.
Toss your salad.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, no, hey, that wouldn't even been the salad because salad, the tossing the salad would be jellies involved.
Oh, that's right.
And this, she was just dry licking.
That's right.
She was desert licking. Toss your salad. All right, good enough. Kinky Crimes for Friday, y'all.
Very good. Good one.
Hey, if y'all have any kinky crimes, send them in.
Yeah, send it in.
Not that you've been arrested for. If you're aware of any kinky crimes, send them in.
Well, maybe if you've been arrested.
Well, if you've been arrested for it, you want to send it in with your mugshot, we'll take that too.
We'll cut your name out of there.
They may want the notoriety.
If you've made a proposal to a cop that beats that one, please.
Yeah, that's the best I ever heard.
That's it.
Don't criminals.
Love those banjos. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've ever gone to my homeland for a banjo story.
Oh, wait a minute. Italy?
Buongiorno, fellas.
Ciao. Pizza.
Pasta. Spaghetti.
An incarcerated Italian mobster. An incarcerated Italian mobster was hailed as a brilliant honor student after writing a 170-page thesis paper based upon his life of crime.
He used AI.
Catello Romano, age 33, earned a degree with the dissertation while serving a sentence at the Calabrian prison of Catanzaro. He was convicted in the 2009 murder of a Neapolitan councilman, Luigi Tomasino, and several other crimes. My name is Catello Romano. I'm 33 years old. I have been in a prison for almost half of my life, 14 consecutive years, his thesis begins. I have committed horrendous crimes and have been convicted of several Camorra murders. What follows is my criminal history. The gangster turned undergraduate said his first murder victims were rising rival mobster Carmine D'Antonio and Federico Donnarumma.
Sounds like pizzas.
Romano wrote
Suave.
Romano wrote that the 2008 double murder was, quote, the most violent, traumatic, and irreparable event of his life, and it had left a hole in his soul. Romano's thesis earned a top grade, and he graduated magna cum laude.
I'm sure the competition is really tough in the prison system.
Unfortunately for Romano, his brilliant thesis included his confessions to 3 high-profile unsolved murder cases, including the slaying of rival mafioso Nunzio Mascolo in 2008. Romano's admission to these 3 killings caught the attention of prosecutors who have now reopened those cases. This has also necessitated moving Romano from minimum security Catanzaro prison to maximum security Padua prison. Perhaps Romano will take up the banjo during his stay at Padua.
Don't confess.
Is Romano a cheese? Yeah.
Federico.
I would think a career mobster, it would occur to him while he's working on that thesis. That
he was working on this thesis.
I shouldn't confess to crimes I haven't been
I wonder what the
tried
university
for.
was. University of dumbass criminals. he definitely got the Magnum Cum Laude.
It's the online university of dumbass
Magnum
criminals.
Cum Laude.
Yeah.
Well, look.
Come lately.
Not doing credit for my my countrymen there. That was
a good one.
That's a good one.
Good dumb criminal.
And we're going to go around and do our final thoughts. What do you say?
Happy birthday, Mom, with us today.
Yes.
Tomorrow. I'm sorry I get it wrong every year.
Mike?
Happy birthday, Mom. I got it right my first year.
Yeah.
Okay, boys. Green Bay, Dallas, pick one.
Dallas.
Green Bay.
Really, Jim? Rams, Lions, pick one.
It's tough. I'm going with Lions.
Rams.
Jim, going against the field. Eagles, Bucks.
I'm going Eagles.
Eagles. You went to Bucks. You thought I was going to say Bucks, didn't you?
Yeah. And I'm going Cowboys, Lions, Eagles. Browns, Texans.
That's a tough one. I'm going to take the Texans.
Texans.
I'm going to take the Browns. Dolphins, Chiefs.
Well, now they know they're playing in
Y'all stay with us.
Antarctica. Only 2 more games.
I'm going with Dolphins just because I love them. I mean, I know they're all hurt and shit, but
Chiefs.
And Mike's going to go Chiefs too. And last game, Steelers against the Bills.
Bills 1,000%.
Woody's got Bills.
Yeah, Bills.
Jim's got
Unless
Bills.
they take out all their starters. No,
Bills. They won't,
no, they're in a playoff
I
game.
won't do that for a playoff game. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for this weekend's slate. We'll get another 20 on, and we've all spread it out enough that we'll
just put it on your tab, Woody.
Put it on my tab.
put it on your tab.
Hi, I'll be here the same place, same time.
Look, before we get out of here, I do have a final thought myself. Want to shout out Miss Lori Johnson, who found out yesterday, she's the Livingston Parish Chamber of Commerce Ambassador of the Year.
Wow.
So shout out, Miss Lori.
Wow. And, hey, Lori, I'm coming to see you real soon, and we got some more business.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Hear that, Lori?
Wow.
Hancock Whitney.
That's right. The best banker ever.
Ever.
All right. Hey, we love and appreciate each and every one of y'all. Thank you for listening, liking, and sharing. Tell your peeps about us. You continue to help us grow Send in whatever you want, and if we can cover it, we'll cover it. We get so many great people, lifers sending it in. We love and appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, and all you Texas folk that have propelled Dallas to number one city so far, keep telling your friends.
Right.
That's right.
Listen to the show.
Until next time, I'm Jim Chapman.
I'm Woody Overton.
And I'm Mike Agavino.
And we're your host of Real Life, Real Crime Daily. Peace.
Let's.